Hey Pisces, I'm Lucy Ravenstone and welcome to my channel. Oh, guys, have recorded these ones already. The whole of my water signs I recorded yesterday, and there was no sound. It turns out that my software had it muted, so here we are, recording it again. I was very angry yesterday. But Mercury in retrograde, right? Yeah, we're just flowing with it. So I'm re-recording these ones. So this is for June. I want to apologise for the background noise. The neighbour never ever goes on their dirt bike until I'm recording, and then they will go on their dirt bike. So we have that. I'm just checking sound. Definitely seems to be recording with sound, so I think we're good. Okay, let me jump right in. I'm using my Fairy Forest by Lucy Cavendish cards for the top 3 cards, and then I'm using the Wandering Star Tarot cards for the main read. Oh, there are definitely different cards coming out than yesterday, but I'm kind of liking it. Pisces. Okay. Interesting. Sorry, the shuffle is always a bit of a wait, but we're going to get the cards out, right? Okay, let's begin. So our first card is the Merciful One. Sorry if I'm not centered. The Merciful One. Compassion, release, and relief. Interesting. Let's see what she has in store. So I kind of get the first card in your last read that's triggering me now within this. And I feel like it had this kind of you're observing. Now she's giving me that. I'll show you the imagery. She's giving me that kind of staring and looking. Now I get the sense that you are kind of looking too harshly, like in a negative light at your situations or anything that you're going through. And this Merciful One, she's sort of saying, I feel the need for you to be compassionate towards your situations. Now I get this sense of like kind of feeling insecure, because like what you're going through is something that's been kind of sensitive to you for some time. And I get this sense of you kind of really expecting the worst. Now with this card, she's sort of come and say, hey, look, see your vulnerability here, have compassion for yourself. And yeah, I'm just really being focused towards her eyes, and they just look like, I feel like you have, and I want to say you have the eyes of someone accusing someone, but I don't feel like you're being harsh, or like, harsh is not the right word. I don't feel like you're being intentionally, like, that you feel that there's truth here. I feel like it's literally like your insecurities are getting the better of you, but I just can't help but see like kind of the accusations in your eyes. I feel like you're pointing your insecurities at somebody, and yeah, I want you to see your vulnerability in this and understand yourself, and why you're feeling this way. And it could be a person, it could be a situation. I just feel like that you are wrongfully looking at something, like kind of having the wrong approach, or again, like fears, allowing fears to be kind of what's driving you rather than reality. Remember, fears are things that we make up, because it's like the ifs, the whats, the buts. There's something that doesn't exist. Like even a fear for a spider. Like, why are we scared of spiders? It's the fear that this creepy looking thing will touch us, or the fear of it, just the unknown really. With anything with fears, it's not something that is actually reality. It's something that we build within ourselves, that kind of prevents us from movement, I suppose. Anyway, first card is Seven of Pentacles reversed. Let's have a look what we have for you. So I get this sense of you wanting to build something, but I also feel like you are hindering yourself here. And I really, the vibe I'm getting and channeling through feels like not self-sabotage, but that's definitely the way. But it's like hindering of experiencing something to its full potential, or allowing something to grow, really. I feel like you are in the beginning stages of nurturing something into existence. However, I feel like you are the blockage here for yourself. The Seven of Pentacles can mean success, its goals, and I just feel like that this is where you are wanting to be at, but again, just allowing these insecurities. Insecurities just keep coming through for me for you, Pisces. So be aware of that. Check in with yourself and see where are you feeling insecure? Why are you feeling insecure? I feel like that could be really beneficial to you to kind of get over that hurdle. And this feels like it's something you've done before. I have this kind of, I'll show you the imagery, kind of what I'm seeing. So here, she has pentacles all growing alongside her, right? If upright, this is what she's grown. Now I feel like this is like based on your past, all these things you have grown before. So the experience that you are experiencing right now, that you are trying to build and grow, I feel like you've been there before and you've done it. And perhaps you didn't succeed, or it wasn't as successful as you wanted it to be. This is sort of giving me this feel of like you feel as though I want to say I feel like you're scared of going through it again. You're scared that the same cycle is going to happen. So I feel like there is this act of kind of self-sabotage here. The next card is Strength in reverse. So upright, it would kind of indicate to me that your vulnerabilities are your allies, and you are kind of balanced within that. To me, strength in reverse is that you are actually, your vulnerabilities are coming through as insecurities. They are hindering your experience. Because we have to understand, like with the Strength card, to explain what I'm trying to say, I will put her upright. So in the Strength card, it's kind of like our vulnerabilities, our weaknesses are the lion. We can be prideful, we can be soft-hearted and loving and compassionate. And if we kind of see that as a strength, you know, you're the kind lion. But when our strengths, when they are more as a form of weakness, so we are over prideful, we shun away our weaknesses, or we start, for example, if jealousy is a weakness of ours, obviously weaknesses are subjective, but let's say, well, I'm going to use jealousy because that's just popped into my head, so there must be a reason for this. So if jealousy is a thing, now this could be a really bad lion to have as something major, because for jealousy to be full in its full prime, it really can self-sabotage, it can hurt people around us, it can fill us with all this toxicity. Because when you are jealous of someone, or jealous like in a relationship, it's not just that you feel that jealousy, you also start to have all these other emotions building, so you suppress them because it's an ugly thing, so that you hold that inside you, and it grows into this darkness that sort of then portrays on how you are with others, because you either show that jealousy and it looks ugly because you're accusing someone perhaps, or you don't show that jealousy, but how you're acting towards that person is suspicious. You're suspicious of them, right? So you start treating them in a way that's not a way that they're deserving, and not the way that is kind of who you truly are, how you want to express yourself to them, especially if it's someone you love and care for. And half the time, and I would actually say majority of the time, when we are jealous, it is literally our own emotions, and it's our inability to actually communicate what we're feeling. It kind of translates and builds into this jealous feeling, right? But however, so that's kind of like what I'm feeling is the vibe. So obviously jealousy might not be relevant to you, but what I'm saying is whatever it is that, and I want to say is a bad kind of personality trait. Now, every personality trait, everyone has their good and their bad sides, right? It's kind of self-growth, and we're continuously learning from our experiences. However, I just feel like at this time, it could be something that's really hindering you, and kind of feel like you are creating the reality that you don't wish to have. So be wary of that. Okay. Nine of Pentacles. So definitely get this sense. All of these cards are representing to me, or well, they're not representing, but it's coming through for me, of you starting and building and growing something new. Kind of coming into a new project, into a new relationship. It's like the beginning of something. And it's like, I feel like you wish for this to be something. Like the goal, the love, the feel behind it is kind of I want this, I need this, right? It's an aspiration. But I definitely get this sense of you looking towards past experiences and not realizing I'll show you the Nine of Pentacles. So this is how I'm viewing it. So I think that this camera is mirror image, so you're not seeing it in the same way I am, because to me, this isn't behind you, whereas I think for you, as I'm looking at my laptop now, it looks like it's in front of you, but this is behind you as I'm seeing it. So imagine it flipped, and you're looking back at these 4 pentacles. But ahead of you, there's 5 pentacles here. And I just see that you are not seeing that actually what's ahead of you. If you look at new experiences for what they are, is new experiences. They are not reflections of past experiences. Yes, you might be going through something that is similar. For example, you are starting a new relationship and you've had relationships before. It's not the same. Nothing within it is the same. They may have, a trait about them that you like in everybody. For example, they may be outgoing people. So it's like triggering you into like, oh, my last was an outgoing person. That's what you find attractive, clearly. That's what you are attracting to you. And there's a reason for that. That does not mean that that person is the same as the person before, or that your experience with this person will be the same as before, because nothing about the situation is the same, even if there are similarities, right? This is a new experience, and you should always go into new experiences with an open mind, with kind of that I feel like sometimes we move forward from the past and we kind of bring out those experiences with you. And this is what I feel with you, Pisces, that you're bringing your past experience into this new experience. And this is kind of what's blocking you, because I feel like the gates are going up, the walls are going up. Now, I do want to kind of express to you that we are in Mercury in retrograde right now as I'm recording this. So until the 2nd of June, this is the energy you're in, right? So this brings things to the surface. So if there are feelings of self-doubts, feeling that something's going to go wrong, this is personal. This is what you need to confront, because that's what Mercury in retrograde does. It brings to the surface things that need to be communicated and expressed, right? So sometimes this can be literally needing to talk things out with someone. I want to say in a relationship, I do feel like here, by being more communicative, and I said this in your last reading, so I want to say this now. So when we are feeling insecure in a relationship, if we do not express how we're feeling and then we keep it within ourselves, we start acting a way that the other person may interpret wrong. So, for example, if we start acting as though we're jealous, or start acting like shutting down ourselves, and you're no longer sharing, because when we first get into something, you start sharing yourself. And then if you allow your insecurities to kind of come to the surface, that stops. So the other person notices something's off. However, if you're not expressing yourself and you're not communicating, they're going to make, like we all do, they're going to come to some kind of assumption, right? And then that means that they'll think, oh, this person's not that interested. So if you are feeling jealous, oh, they're going to go with someone else. They might start thinking you're not interested. So like, okay, well, we're still in early phase. We're seeing a few people. I'm going to see if, there could be options. Now, you have nothing. You should not be jealous here, because you were one of those options and that person started choosing you. But then you started acting like you're not interested. So they're going to go back to that options. That person's done nothing wrong in that scenario, right? But you are going to then be like, see, my feelings are right. And that's the kind of sense I get here, is that you are literally going to just kind of this is for those in this sort of situation. This is just the way I can express this. It's like then you will think you're right in the way you were thinking, but you're not, because that's the reality you've created. Now I want to apply this to kind of a project situation too, because I can see that kind of layer in this. So for example, if you're going to a new project, let's say a creative project, right? But you've done projects in the past. Now, I feel like whenever we start anything creative, we can get in our own heads, because it's like kind of putting a piece of ourselves out there into something that we create in the world, right? So in the past, it didn't work out. Now, think of the reasons why that didn't work. It could be that it was not the right time in our life. Perhaps we were raising children and we need our time, it was hard, spread thin to be able to put the love into a project that we needed. We didn't have financial backing. All these things are the reason why that thing didn't work out in the past. Now, what we need to realize is that the experiences we did in the past, when we do it again, it might be the same cycles. It might be the same kind of, framework to this idea. However, we learned something from that. And that's what you should be bringing from the past, not the anxiety side of it not working. I really do feel like if you go into something thinking it's not going to work, or at least that's how in the beginning stages thinking this is not going to work, or you know what, it's just going to be the same again, that is what you're going to create. Because you cannot begin something in that mindset and expect it to work. Food for thought there, Pisces. Okay, the next card is the Solitary. She's dedication, self-love, and focus. Now, this is what I feel is your medicine, right? I really feel like this is a time for you to go within and really face those fears, face those insecurities that's kind of putting you in this energy. I love this positioning of this because it's kind of like we explained the feel, and this is how we can focus. Understand yourself. Now, if you are going into anything new, understanding yourself and understanding why you feel the way that you do can really help change that energy, shift that energy. And that's what we want. We want movement, right? We don't want to be hindering our growth. We don't want to be the blockage and the reason for why things are not growing and blossoming in the way that we aspire them to. And I get this blossoming. Look at her. She is beautiful. It's all blossoming around her face. She's growing and nourishing her things. And this is because she's glowing. I mean, look at her. She looks like she's glowing. It may be the lighting, but she is glowing. And this is what I feel for you, Pisces. I really feel that this is a time for you to understand yourself in order for you to express that out into the world, be it in the form of a project or within a relationship. If you are glowing and you are feeling confident and comfortable in who you are, then you are able to invite that in for yourself. And remember that when we do go into something, especially a relationship, when there's other people involved, how we are and how we are glowing can really bring out that best in somebody else as well. And that's what we want. We want to be able to see the best in our partner, and we want them to see the best in us. I want you to keep that in mind. The moon. Okay, the moon can represent hidden aspects of something and secrets. Now, I really get this sense of you really putting your walls up and kind of going through things internally. I do feel like this is typically a Pisces trait as well. And it is a time of intuition and a time, it is a card of intuition and trusting in yourself. However, this is just giving me that sense of you hiding yourself and really unable to feel that you're feel that you can trust your intuition. If you look at the imagery, what is drawn into me is the fact she feels she's doing this. She's hiding herself. She's protecting herself, right? This just feels like that's the vibe here. And if you feel the need to protect yourself, do things that will help you to feel safe. Be that in form of crystals. We have all the black crystals. I feel like I mentioned this to somebody. I don't think it was your sign, but because it's coming up now for protection, tourmaline, keep it on your person, keep it on your keys if you can get a keychain, next to your bedside, anything that's going to help you feel that protected energy, or where you feel you need it. If you feel like you need it when you're out and about, which we all should be doing anyway, to protect ourselves from other people's toxic energy and other things that we might pick up, keep it on your person, in your wallet, on your pocket, your purse, bag, whatever it is that you carry around with you. Because you are shaping your future. We have the Magician upright. Now, the Magician manifests their reality. They can create whatever it is that they desire. And they have that skill, they have that power. And this is what I feel like you are doing. So when you are self-sabotaging because you're bringing things to the surface allowing your insecurities to manifest in that way, I feel like that's coming into reality. Now, with this card, it's saying that you really are the one that's in control here. If you wish for something to go a certain way, you have the power to do that. And I really feel like you are shaping your experiences right now. So I really want you to kind of look at your life and your aspirations in this current moment and realize what it is that you want. And if you're not sure, but certain things are not in alignment with something that's making you happy, just experiment with it. Because I really get this sense of you seeing, and I feel like, to me, this is why I feel like it's it's working in not the way that we wish to right now, is we have the Wheel of Fortune in reversed. So we want it upright. We want to be changing our look, right? I feel like at the moment your look is reversed. Now this comes with being after that Magician. I get the sense that you are creating your look in a way that you are not wanting it to be. So be mindful. I really want you to kind of look into this for yourself, because I feel like individually you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, because this really does feel like there's something that you are bottling up that needs to be assessed. Otherworld, veil, illness, and transition. So you're going through a transition. I remember a card on your reading came through on the last one, and this is representing that, just that. It's going through a transition. You're going through kind of inner turmoils, and it really does feel like it's an inner turmoil, and kind of the shadow work that we need to see. Now, I feel like what you're going through in this project, I do feel like it can be a very successful endeavor for you, be it relationship, project, career, family, whichever it is that is really your focus right now. This is part of your kind of current life purpose. This is something, you're self-discovery. You're supposed to be learning about yourself. This is why I get this sense of repeating of patterns. I really get this feeling of going over and going through things in order to kind of heal from that cyclic thing that you're going through. And so it's kind of like with this, when you go through a transition, you can keep repeating old wounds, but it kind of, eventually it's going to becoming more and more obvious. Like we see it more clearly because we've gone through it so many times. And this is how I feel like this is. You are going to see your shadows on the surface. So I want to use jealousy because it keeps popping into my head as we talk about this. So I do think somebody who's watching this may have this kind of new relationship and this tendency. Because it just keeps coming back to me. So let's say jealousy. I feel like you can see it for yourself. You can see what you're doing. I feel like if you actually go, it'd be like when there's penny dropping, like, oh my God, you're right. Like there was no full reason to why. It's literally myself reading signs that in a way that's not there. So for example, somebody could be really busy right now. You're in this new relationship, but they're not what you're used to because they're a working person. They have a family. Perhaps you're used to someone being having all the time for you, and this can trigger stuff for you. This can make you feel jealous, feeling that maybe they're talking to somebody else, or I feel like sometimes we concoct all sorts of stories when we don't communicate with a person about how we're feeling. Now the way around this is actually so let's say we're feeling jealous. If you just say to somebody, hey, I know I've been really weird lately, or like, because you'll know in your situation if things have been going off. I've been a bit weird lately. I want to kind of explain myself. Just to say, hey, so in my past, I've been cheated on a few times, or I'm just used to a different kind of relationship, so I'm just finding my feet within this. I just want to let you know that I'm feeling insecure, and so that's why I'm acting the way that I am. But I do trust you, and I, express your feelings for that person, whatever they may be, and I feel like that actually would help you in that situation, for the other person to be able to express themselves. And that's how we should be in healthy relationships. That's how you have a healthy relationship. Now, I, for one, am also somebody who cannot always express myself. I am a communicator, and I love communication. But when it comes to me expressing myself on those deep level, I'm a Taurus, so, we are stubborn and we keep the walls up for ourselves as protection. And so I know how hard that is. However, I also know that when I do express myself and I do try and explain myself to somebody, that it does help me gain clarity on the situation. Whether it be good or bad, whether it does help you be like, oh, I was right. You know the answers and you're not making things up in your head. And again, that's what's healthy. It's not healthy to be making up things and seeing how things go and just waiting for boxes to be ticked, because then again you're creating that reality. You may push somebody towards doing something which is not even, like I said earlier, it's not them doing anything wrong, but in your eyes it would be, because you're just not being all in, you're not showing yourself, you're not choosing to be vulnerable. I get this sense of, you know, the walls being up and not being vulnerable in that. So keep that in mind, Pisces. 9 of Wands, she's looking sad to me. Again, with the walls up thing, I definitely get this sense with you for this. I'll just show you the imagery of that card. So to me, she looks sad and vulnerable. This card is a card of strength, boundaries, and support. So you do have that there. And I do feel like this is a positive card for you. However, I can feel yourself within this. It's giving me that self-care kind of vibe of that, what was that card called? Of the Solitary. And I feel like you feel alone within this, because I feel like you are feeling vulnerable. So again, if this is a project as well, it's just leaving you feel a bit raw, because it's bringing up past wounds, right? But when things come to the surface, it's because it's something that you need to deal with. You can't just hide away from the things that are hard, right? So I definitely get this sense of holding whatever it is, this project, this relationship, this situation close to you, and you're holding on to it. But I feel like all of these ones behind her, they are giving me past experiences. So even though you're holding on and it's like hoping for this new thing, I feel like behind you is all these past experiences that are just like kind of tapping on your head, like, I'm here, don't forget about me. Now I want to again express that these levels of all that we've learned in our past is our support. It's our experiences. Now again, we can have way too much, we can bring it all with us, but then that means that this one has no room to fit. You know, there's a wall behind you because you're keeping all of this past, bringing it all with you, that this new experience can't join the line. You can't have this healthy garden of wisdom and experience with you. So what we are supposed to do, and I use this analogy, I don't know if it's for another sign, basically Pisces, for example, say when we learn, and we'll go right back to the beginning, fire. Man has discovered fire. Now the first man touched this fire and it burned him, and it's like, ow! Now he knows, ouch, fire hurts, and it was annoying, and my fingers stung for weeks, and the skin peeled, it was raw, fire is bad, right? So this person now could have a fear of fire and they never ever build another fire. Or they can bring that past experience with them. They build a new fire, they know we don't touch the fire. We can go close to it and feel its warmth, and we no longer are freezing cold at night time. We can cook food on it. Like, this is a great thing to use. It's something that we're going to go through again and again and again to use as a good experience. However, I've had a bad experience in the past, so I'm going to bring that knowledge and wisdom not to touch the fire. But you're not going to bring the fear of the fire, that fire can hurt you, because fire is also good. Yeah, and that's the same with relationships. We can bring this experience, like, I got hurt in that relationship because maybe I was in that relationship for too long. So now, as in, because that person was arguing with you, you were arguing with them all the time, it got toxic. But you hold on until, you know, one of you cheated. It's kind of like just learning. So you bring that knowledge of, when things are going bad, I need to work on my relationship. I need to, whatever, you know, you're bringing the past experience to be able to create a better experience in future, because relationships are good. In that past relationship where you got hurt, there was so much good from that, right? In that project that you're building, yes, it went wrong because you didn't have enough time. So this time, you know, to channel your efforts in a certain way, or perhaps you tried to juggle too many things instead of focusing on something until it was ready. I feel like this is the whole point. We need to bring forward that past experience in order to realize that we can have all the good and still keep it good, as long as we let go of our worries and fears that something bad's going to happen, and bring forward the things that worked, let go of the things that didn't. I hope that explains. I feel like I went off a little bit there on the little trail, but I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. Let go, but bring the good stuff. 6 of Pentacles. So this is a really good card. This is a card of balance, receiving. It is a good kind of family coming together kind of card. This to me is balance. This card always, 6 of Pentacles always gives me balance, and I feel like it's moving towards something that will bring us that balance that we want in our life. And 2022, to me, I've been saying all year, is the year of balance. And I feel like that's what all of these planetary alignments, all of these things that keep coming to the surface, they are things that are showing us what we need to change, what we need to face, what we need to kind of work on this year in order to create this balance moving forward. Because I feel like we've all been imbalanced for such a long time that it can feel kind of chaotic during this time. But this, to me, I feel like what you're dealing with right now is moving you that step closer towards balance. And our final card is Ace of Cups in reverse. So again, I feel the vulnerability of starting something new here. The Ace of Cups outright is a really good card of new beginnings and new projects and that kind of thing. But she is in reverse, and I feel like you are just so emotional. And I do feel like things that you've grown in the past that are similar are affecting you. I really want you to kind of look deep within this. I feel like deep work, Pisces. And I'm sorry because nobody wants to hear that. But I feel like that's just what's needed in order to get that success that you are craving. This card does represent new beginnings, new relationships. I do get the sense that some people it may not work out for you. This could be a time when that does break, because again, if you are not putting in the work, like the idea of this reading, it's foresight, right? It gives you a look into the energy you're working with, so you can change this energy. That's why you're here. This is not telling you this is just what's going to happen, so deal with it. That when you go for a reading, when you have a tarot reading, you can see the energy you're working with, and then you can shape it in the way that you want. This is the whole idea of insight. What would be the point of being able to see something and not be able to change it? That the future is shapeable, the past is not. So don't try and live in the past. Don't try and change something that happened. You need to change your future. You need to create your future. The future is full of possibilities, right? So in your current space right now, I feel like this is definitely a time for yourself to go within. I definitely am getting a green-eyed monster as well as I'm looking down at this, and I feel like it's bringing you sadness. So check in, have a look, see what's what. I'm going to show you those 3 cards so you do see what I'm seeing. I'm going to show you them in the reverse so you're seeing them in the right order, I think, because it is backwards. But yeah, all of these I'm getting from this self-care. She is giving me green-eyed monster. She has beautiful green eyes. She has green eyes too. Maybe blue, but I'm just getting green-eyed monster. So I do feel like jealousy for some of you, or one of you, is definitely an issue. That's me. And communicate. Let it out. Drop those walls. Be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It actually helps people to respect you more deeper. It helps build relationships. It helps create new relationships in a way that's authentic, and understanding of who you truly are, so that then you can be yourself with that person. If you go into a relationship pretending to be someone else, either that person gets to know you and it's not the person that they fell in love with, so then that's going to create issues for you, or if it does make someone drop away from you, they weren't meant for you, because we are not meant to attract somebody who's not right for who we truly are. That's how relationships don't work. So keep that in mind. Same with projects. If something's not for you, if you go in it trying to create something that's not in alignment with yourself, it's not going to work. So make sure that you are being true to yourself, be authentic, and I'll see you next month, Pisces. Comment below any questions. I'll answer as soon as I'm able to. I love seeing your words. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next month, Pisces.